What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the Mastermind Creations R-04 Leo Ducks, otherwise known as Razor Claw from the Predacons. And yeah, this guy is really quite awesome. I'm not even gonna wait till the end to tell you that. I highly recommend him. Inside his box, you of course get two of what they call the vibrating sonic blades. I'll show you those a little bit later. Of course, you get the waist piece here, which does just kind of clip right into the back of him for storage if you want it that way. If you don't particularly like how that looks, you can take this off. And then, whoops, that will allow you to take this, open it up. And this is actually used for quite a few things, but we'll open it up like this, flip this all around, fold this back in, and clip it back closed here. And now you've made kind of like a buckler type shield, and you use this peg right here to just peg it right on the side of his arm here, if you so choose. And I think that looks pretty cool. It's a nice way to alleviate that big piece hanging off his back if you don't particularly like it. I think it looks nice with the vibrating sonic swords. And then the last pieces you get are these two pieces, which are a little bit confusing, and the tail of the lion. The thing that's a shame about these pieces is that the book calls this like a piece of Feral Rex's sword or something like that. And I kind of wish there was some other way for him to kind of hold it. Like, I guess you can kind of make him grip the end like that just a little bit, but I don't know, it doesn't really work. But I don't know, the way I saw it kind of looked like, you know, you're swinging like a big mace, and you know, maybe if there was more segments to the tail that would be easier to kind of express. But yeah, so as far as I know, there's nothing you can do with this in his Leo Ducks type form. So on the articulation, well, let's actually get a 360 view of this figure. He's looking pretty darn good. I think that he is pretty excellent. For articulation, the only thing I find is a little bit hindered are these arms, and they kind of go up, and if you get the arm out of the way, they can do a full 360. The problem is with the combiner port here, when it gets there, it gets in the way, so you do have to pop it out a notch, and then you can continue the rotation. Perhaps you may want to keep it not fully transformed and pushed back, just so that's not an issue, and you certainly can do that if you so please. Coming down, you saw that the arm does swing out to the side here for your shoulder joint. A little bit low on the shoulder joint, but ultimately doesn't look too bad on the figure. You do have the bicep swivel up here, sort of. It's actually more close to the shoulder. The double jointed elbow, which is really quite stiff. There we go. But you can get a good range of motion on the elbow there. The wrist rotation, and it does go up and down. Mostly for transformation, but hey, it's there and it's a joint, so let's talk about it. Not sure. Yep, you do have the it's actually more like an abdomen swivel as opposed to a waist swivel, but that's okay. Down to the legs here, nice big ratcheted forward, back, and in and out. You do have the thigh swivel. You have a knee here. And then when you come down to his feet, the feet are a fairly complex mechanism. You do have a toe swivel down here. Nothing else really moves. The back piece is also on a little bit of a ball joint. But yeah, you can't really, well, I guess that works. So yeah, you can do it that way, but if for some reason, I don't know why it would go the other way anyway, it doesn't go that way. So yeah, this guy is huge. And let's give him his swords here. I did want to point out that once again, he has the Mastermind Creations flaw of he can't really just slot his swords in because you got this little tab piece. So you do have to take it at an angle and kind of just push it in, and you'll hear it click, and then you're in the socket there. And wow, these swords look pretty awesome with this guy. I mean, just one looks really cool. And so when you get the other one, of course, and we'll take that, once again, we'll pop it on into position down here, hopefully. There we go. Yeah, he is just so big and imposing looking. And yeah, he looks awesome. He looks, of course, great next to his other Predacon buddies, and he is quite a bit bigger than them. Not unreasonably so. If you've seen the TFC one, it almost looks... I know the TFC guys are like almost Voyager size. And Razor Claw is huge compared to him. It's like, it looks like the difference between like a deluxe and like a good size Voyager when you look at those two. These guys, they fit, you know, relatively close in scale. I think they look really nice standing next to each other, and I don't mind Razor Claw being the biggest, but I mean, TFC's towers over these guys. So yeah, he of course looks good with his other Predacon buddies, but if you don't have those and maybe you're wondering about some things, here is the Bumblebee mold. Here is Orion. And let's see. I've got the Friends Project code. And I think that's pretty good. Actually, let's do one more. One more here. There's the Weird Wolf from Fans Project. So yeah, that should give you a good idea on the overall size here. So let's get this guy transformed into his lion mode here, and as one might expect, it's really not all that complicated. You're going to rotate these arms forward like so. We'll open this little door here, and as you would do anytime you see these doors, rotate the fists on in, take his little feet, flip them on around to however I guess it makes you happy, like that. You're going to take this and kind of pull it forward a little bit. Now this is on a ball joint here, and it does like to pop off. It's super easy to get back in, so don't worry if it pops off. And actually for lion mode you might want to pop it off because it gives more articulation. But anyway, once it's like this, take this and rotate this piece of the mane on down on both sides here, making sure that you don't get in the way of the arm. And then you have to kind of flip it so you can get to it from the bottom here, and pull the top piece of mane out, and these are all on ball joints, and swing it around the lower piece of mane. See if you can see it better this way, like that, and swing it around so you can bring it up, and that's going to make the much, you know, the much fancier lion mane on the top here. So what you're going to do is then take this red piece and kind of fold it all the way up, and you see you have a little ball jointed tab right here, and that's actually going to fit perfectly to plug right in the back of his head. So you kind of grip it and push it down like so, and you'll see something like this. Now you don't have any articulation on the head if you do it this way, but if you do pop the ball joint off, then you get a lot more articulation. So it's up to you if you keep it that way or not. I'm just gonna keep it back on the ball joint. Alright guys, sorry for the jump cut there. I just wanted to get this main plugged in, didn't want to take too long. Next we're gonna come to here. You can see, we can see the two heads. We're gonna take that top piece of the mace slash sword thing, and you just take it and you slide it in here around the flanged portion here on both sides, and then they'll peg in together like that, and you just kind of get them out of the way, and they don't click or anything like that. There is a little pieces in here, but there's no click, just kind of goes right in the way there. The next thing we're gonna do, extend out this shield holder thing here and hold it in position. And we gotta rotate the waist all the way around, but we want this shield holder to be on the top still. So that's pretty important. Make sure you keep that up. And once you're done with that, we can ignore it from here on out. We're gonna go down to the feet here, and we'll take the little feet and bring them over the combiner peg, and then flip them all the way around, and you'll see that they'll just tab right into position here. So again, flip them around over the combiner peg, tab in. And what my favorite part of the engineering here is to take his front foot, flip it up, flip the little secondary heel spur in, flip it down, and slide the whole thing in. And I just thought that that was a pretty cool way to make this whole assembly compact. So I'll do it again, And yeah, pretty cool. I like that. Next, we just telescope his legs on in, nice and easy. And we'll be needing his tail pretty soon. Next to do though is we'll unpeg his feet here like this, and then once you have them unpegged, you can actually pull these on out and kind of undo his legs and spin them all the way around until they're in position. Yeah, we'll fix his little foot here too. One thing about this guy is he's so big that it sometimes is a little bit tough to hold on to while you're doing everything. So we'll do this again. Flip this around. Flip his little foot. And the nice thing about the foot is it actually is on its own little swivel too, so it gives you plenty of range of motion on that foot. So now you can see we're pretty well done. And what you need to do is get the tail here. And what I like to do is bend it first so I can see with the tail, because I don't know, for me, I don't like my lion's tail coming up. I would rather it be, you know, more downward with the curve at the end. You can do it either way that you like, but what you do is you take it and then you just kind of peg it into the, there's a hole at the top here, and you just kind of close the legs up and tab them together. And there you go. He is done, and he is in his lion mode. And I just think he's looking pretty awesome here. I can't argue with it. It almost feels very Voltron lion to me. Like, I kind of would like to see a Voltron lion done in a similar way, at least a black lion. I don't know, he just turned out really, really nicely. And of course his shoulder cannons, you can bring them down or you can bring them up, whatever you want to do, because they do have a large range of motion on those cannons. So for me personally, I like to keep him up because, you know, a lion with cannons on his back, that's pretty awesome. Now, I'm not very good at posing anything, let alone animals, but I guarantee you he's got plenty of posability because he retains all his arm posability. He's got quite a bit of range of motion in the legs, including the little paw pieces, so very posable. And if you pop the head off that ball joint, like I said, you get more there. You do have the opening jaw, and he is just ferocious looking. I think that looks great. You can then, of course, take his shield, and I'm sorry we didn't kind of smooth this out any here, but you can take his shield thing if you want. Whoops, still in the other mode here. There we go. You can, of course, take his shield and just kind of peg it on his back to store that away. And if you really want to, I'm not a huge fan of doing this type of thing, but you can take his weaponry and peg it right on the side, like so. I don't know, it's not bad looking, I'm just not a huge fan. So we'll at least just take these off here. And let's bring in the other Predacons we've got so far. And one thing you'll see is Razor Claw is very big compared to his Rhino and Bull counterparts. And that may upset me a little bit more if it wasn't for the fact that he's the leader and you know, he's a freaking alien robot, so I don't know, size doesn't matter so much in this case, in my opinion. But yeah, you can see just how huge he is compared to his Predacon allies. So I believe the last thing to talk about before we can stick a fork in this and call it done is to go ahead and put him into his Predaking mode. I already took the shield off, we're going to take this off, we don't need this anymore. And we can come around here and take this off too, as we don't need this anymore. And just fold that on down. We're going to take the crotch piece here and we're going to open it on up, flip this little tab out, flip this all the way around and out like so. So it's like this. And then you're also going to take these little pieces and open them on up. So that's going to be pretty important for when we can put the combined mode here. So the next thing to do, obviously, is going to be to take the legs down here. And we want to, once again, take this and rotate, hold the black piece and rotate the waist on around to the other side here, like so. And we can extend the legs. They really only tell you to extend them like to the halfway point. Another thing that's weird to me is he's got this joint here. I don't think I quite understand why he's got that weird like knee joint here. I don't know. If you know why that's there, let me know. I don't know, maybe it adds something for line mode. But anyway, I think they want you to only do it like halfway. Personally, I like this the full way because I've put him on with the bull and rhinoceros, and if I have him with his legs on like this, he stands taller than the TFC Superion and Hercules, and that's good for me. Anything other, and yeah, he just seems a little bit small. Anyway, we're going to take this and once again put his legs back the way we had him before we transformed him. So take these, plug them on in, and bring the feet around and up just to kind of tie them there. Let's do the foot here first. Take this around, bring this down, push this on in, clip that in, hide the foot. So there we go. There's the legs here. And we can take this skirt armor and kind of pull it down for now. It's really on to you to find what you like the best. But you're going to come down here and we'll take this little tab, and you'll see if you have this in the right position relative to each other, those two little prongs will plug in back there. Alright, once again, sorry for the jump cut. I went to do the skirt armor the first time and it just didn't feel right for some reason. But I guess I just wasn't really quite remembering it right. So anyway, you take this and plug it into the front here like this. Get it as far in as you can and get that in position. And then bring the skirt around the back and just plug it into the back piece here like so. Like so. There we go. And for whatever reason, I don't remember this like that. I thought it sat flush against there, but I don't really seem to see a way to do that. So, whatever. I think I just was remembering it wrong. Anyway, bring his legs back down like so. And then I like to take the side hip armor and try to, you know, as close as I can, line it up to the side waist. You could bring it down or in more, but that's personally how I like to have it, like so. So now we'll come up to the top part of the robot here. If we turn the tripod the right way here. So what we're going to do is flip his arms down, bring these combiner pegs on out, like so. We're going to take this whole assembly and kind of rotate it on up, and you can see how it's just going to peg right in on there, and then we can rotate this whole arm like that, and then you just want the claws of the lion to go down. You can also, if you wanted to, rotate this first. I just find it easier to keep it like this so I can easier access the elbow and put that in like that. So rotate it around again, make sure it's all still plugged in, and rotate that paw on down. Now we'll come to the head here, try to unpeg the lion head without doing the ball joint there, and take this and well, just kind of hold it like that, then grab the head to razor claw and pull it up, and you'll see the whole assembly kind of moves out of the way. Now I find it easiest to pull the gun straight back like that at this point, because that's going to give us the room we need to kind of work the Predaking head here, because what you have to do is flip the whole thing like so, and then up into position. So your Predaking head takes the place of the razor claw head, and then you can take this and clip it back down again. And then it's just a matter of kind of pushing in the razor claw lion head there and doing whatever you want with the cannons on his back. For me, I personally like to have them angled like this. There we go. Yeah, just put the top of the round piece, in my opinion, looks best just like that, so it angles forward like so, and that's how I like it. You may vary, you may like them a little bit more back, whatever, you can do what you want with them. But that is the Predaking torso, and once again, this guy is just enormous. He's gonna be enormous. Look at the there he is next to Orion, so that is a healthy size combiner. He's gonna be pretty awesome. Now, Predaking also does have a light up head gimmick that you just push the button for. Unfortunately, I put batteries in mine and it doesn't work. So I've got a replacement that's going to be coming. Actually, I gotta send this guy back and get the replacement one sent here. So when we do the actual full Predaking review, you'll see that. But range of motion on the head, pretty good. A little bit limited because of the shoulder kibble, but really not bad. So that's going to be one heck of a combiner, and I certainly can't wait for the rest. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.